pleasant day to all of us. One most important invention in the world is the wheels. Who invented the wheels? The wheels was invented by the Mesopotamian people in the 3500 BC, and it is also believed that the China independently invented it in the 2800 BC. The wheels did not only shape our world in transportation, but it also helped evolve many inventions. How does it solve the persisting needs of the society? Long time ago, people always travel where their needs is satisfied, and that makes them travel a lot more easier and faster. Moreover, the transportation of goods was also improved. So what are the impacts of wheels in our society? The wheels have a lot of impact to our society, such as in ancient civilization, the wheel allowed societies to win over battles and take over lands. Chariots was also invented with the help of wheels. It allows transportation of people and supplies. As the civilization advanced, the wheels also advanced in helping transportation of people, items, and goods.
Alexander Graham Bell is a Scottish scientist and engineer who invented and introduced to us the first telephone. Telephone is one of the most important inventions that changed the world and opened an opportunity to facilitate human conversation. Before the invention of telephones, the means of communication of people from different places is through writing, which takes days or weeks to receive a response. Through the use of telephone, communication between people at a distance made easier, and businesses uses it to negotiate and transact to people. The development of telephone paved way to the creation of mobile phones and modern technologies which we use in our everyday life to communicate and reach out to other people.
The invention of paper or papyrus is a major accomplishment by the Egyptians to the world. Before the invention of paper, clay tablets were used to write down things and keep records. However, those clay tablets were fragile and heavy, thus making it hard for people to carry and send it to different places. This had led Egyptians to innovate better medium in record keeping and in communications. Papyrus paper is the first paper in history. Ancient Egyptians used stems of the papyrus plant to make sails, cloth, mats, cords, and above all, the paper. The papyrus paper is the chief writing material in the ancient Egypt, which was also adopted by the Greeks and was also used extensively in the Roman Empire. If it weren't for the invention of paper, information cannot be disseminated in all places and in all kinds of people. It also greatly helped in social awareness, communications, record keeping, and also in the spread of literacy and literature.
One of the major contributions of Sumerians are sailboats. Sailboats are used as a mode of transportation to carry out goods and people to navigate them across the waters. Since civilization were manifested based on trade and commerce, they decided to create a vessel in which it can cover large distances and can also set up a trade relationship with nearby cities and countries, making a path for cultural and economic exchanges. Thus, it proceeded to a creation of sailboats that was a huge help in making a path for water trade and commerce and made traveling easier. In addition, it also helped in the improvement of fishing activity and irrigation system. Lastly, it also helped the later people to come up in more ways to innovate trade, travel, and war.
One of the inventions which would change the world forever is the incandescent light bulb. This contains a wire filament made of tungsten inside a vacuumed glass bulb to prevent oxidation. The process of inventing such a work was of multiple inventors, but most credit is given to Thomas Alva Edison for being the first to make a bulb with a considerably long lifespan. This is mainly due to the filament and the level of vacuum which he was able to achieve. The incandescent bulb works by having electricity flow through the filament until it glows hot, releasing light. Admittedly, it is not as efficient as the current fluorescent bulbs and the light-emitting diodes, or the LEDs. Studies show that less than 5% of the energy they consume actually gets converted to light, and the rest to heat. But in an age where the darkness of the night limits people's activities, its creation was a significant breakthrough. In addition, the science behind the incandescent bulb has been applied to other inventions, such as incubators.
Next invention was here in the Philippines. Dr. Fidel Mundo was a known scientist here in the Philippines and also invented the bamboo incubator in 1941. It is a bamboo version for the medical incubator. So how was it able to address the persisting needs of the communities? The bamboo incubator was made for the rural communities who have a limited access to medical center. Furthermore, Dr. Fidel Mundo wanted to create a less expensive and easier to assemble incubator for the rural communities who lack in electricity and can be easily reproduced by the people. Lastly, what is the impact of bamboo incubator to our society? The invention of an improved incubator and a device to treat jaundice has saved countless premature infants around the world.
The invention of jeepney changed the transportation industry of the Philippines. It dominated the streets and became the primary mode of transportation of most Filipinos. However, it also contributes to the air pollution and noise pollution that resulted in the development of electric jeepney that is an innovation of green renewable independent power producers incorporation or GRIP in partnership with Mr. Robert Pagat, the president of Solar Electric Company in the Philippines. The e-jeepney operates on pure electricity supplied by rechargeable car batteries, so you don't need to use gasoline and diesel. It also has no noise, no gases, no pollutants that are harmful. It can be charged overnight for around 8 hours, like a phone, on a normal wall outlet, and can run for the next day for about 65 kilometers. It can also solve the transport problems that is related to air pollution, traffic congestion, fuel import reliance, and carbon emissions. It also opens an environment where commuters can enjoy a quiet, safe, run, and smoke-free electric vehicle.
Also, one of the scientific and technological invention in the Philippines is the salt lamp, or the sustainable alternative lighting, which was innovated by Isa Mijeno, who is an engineer and a young Filipino scientist. This invention by Mijeno was built to provide an affordable and safer alternative source of light, especially for those who lives in rural communities. So Mijeno used to be part of the Greenpeace Philippines and also experienced personal immersion across rural communities, which made her realize that most of the people who lives in remote barrios are so poor and underprivileged that they need to endure long hours of walking just to get kerosene for their lamps. Aside from this, Mijeno was also concerned about the risk of using candles or kerosene lamps as they are fire hazards. This inspired Mijeno to her invention of the salt lamp, which contributed a lot to the society, especially to those who lives in far-flung areas and has no electricity at all. So this salt lamp is powered by one of the most abundant resource of the Philippines, which is the salt water, which makes it affordable, environment friendly, harmless, and non-toxic. It is also said to be a lot safer than the kerosene lamp as it has no compounds or components that may spark fire. So this invention by a young Filipino scientist gained a lot of awards and recognition not just within the Philippines but also in abroad.
During the Second World War, the Japanese military introduced to us the first tricycle, which is used as a military transportation during that time. It is then developed into what we call now the motor tricycle. Tricycle is one of the most important means of transportation in the Philippines. It is the most convenient mode of transport that can take you to another place, especially to far-flung barangays and barrios. Unlike other vehicles, this vehicle is capable of traversing streets, which makes it accessible to every passengers and can accommodate up to 6 passengers with cheaper fare. Not only for passengers, but this is also used to transport goods and products such as foods, vegetables, fruits, fishes, meat, and other products. As a result, this makes our journey easier, at the same time giving opportunities to drivers to make money out of it.
Erythromycin is the name of an antibiotic which was discovered and developed by a Filipino doctor, Abelardo Aguilar. It was isolated from the bacteria Saccharopolyspora erythraea. After the patent protection was granted in 1953, it was launched under the name Ilocone, after the province of Iloilo, where the bacterial samples were collected. It is used for the treatment of several bacterial infections, such as respiratory tract infections, skin infections, pelvic inflammatory infections, chlamydia, and syphilis. The World Health Organization lists it among its list of essential medicines, the safest and most important medicines needed in a health system. It was described as critically important for human medicine and is one of the most prescribed generic medications.
The collage presents the different inventions from the world, namely the wheel, telephone, Ebers papyrus, incandescent bulb, and sailboat, and in the Philippines, namely the bamboo incubator, motorized tricycle, e-jeepney, erythromycin, and salt lamp. The layout of this collage is simply an art gallery. An art gallery can be presented to the public, which has the same aspiration for this collage. This idea came out with the purpose of introducing these inventions to anyone and made available and accessible for the public. We wanted these inventions to be presented in a way that it is simple and organized, and can easily convey its message through the analogy of an art gallery. Also, these inventions are invented or innovated by different people of different nationalities, and therefore, we wanted to show it regardless of this fact because these things are utilized by every people.